first and foremost, we have the pleasure of inviting someone very, very important. It is my pleasure to introduce and welcome the founder and chief executive officer of Binance, CZ. Welcome, CZ. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that you have a few things that you want to share with us, so I'm going to hand the floor over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Pete. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Binance four-year anniversary event. Thank you all for joining. So I'm going to take a few minutes to highlight some of the important topics and milestones before we get to some of the AMA questions you submitted. Let me see how this slideshow works. So first of all, I want to give a big thank you to you all of our users, for choosing to share your journey with Binance. Today marks a very special day for Binance as we celebrate our 4th anniversary. We've come a long way in 4 years, but we shouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here without our strong community and user base, yourselves. I'm grateful for our community of financials, and I love to interact with you every day on Twitter. Thank you for your support over the years as we work towards our collective mission to increase the freedom of money all around the world. I'll first share some numbers. So we actually achieved some really fantastic numbers over the years. So we have a 10+ million active user community, users in our community. These are people who participate in our social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Binance P2P have reached 1 million+ users. And today, our apps support 30+ languages both on our website and in our app. And our customer support supports 16 languages, which is quite impressive as well. And we are looking to increase that now. The Binance Card, which was only launched a few months ago, processed more than $400 million of transactions. Binance Charity have helped more than 1 million people worldwide, which is also a pretty satisfying result. And we have distributed more than $143 million of prizes or rewards through Launchpad and Launchpool. Let me see if I can turn. So the next, I'll talk a little bit about the Binance ecosystem. Over the past 4 years, we've developed a fairly complex blockchain ecosystem now, which includes key infrastructure pillars such as Trust Wallet, CoinMarketCap, Binance Academy, Binance Labs, Launchpad. We have both centralized and decentralized NFT markets now, and much more. We have also invested in many projects and organizations, most notably the community-driven Binance Smart Chain, which now has the world's largest transaction volume in the DeFi space. Next, I'll talk a little bit about our core values, which we say this very internally all the time, but I would like to share this with you. We care about users, so we're always user-focused. This is something that I believe sets us apart. We have 4 values internally. We're very passionate. We call ourselves hardcore. We move quickly, and we overcome challenges. In our short history, we have faced many different challenges, and we have overcome them. And every day we face new challenges, and we always work hard to overcome them. And we always overcome our problems in a collaborative and also in a very smooth way. So collaboration, both internally and externally, is our next very core values. We want to communicate openly with our communities, and we want to build this ecosystem and industry together. Our mission is to increase the freedom of money, and we internally and both also with our communities, we want to encourage freedom. We believe people should have a large degree of freedom and control over their finances, over their transactions, etc., while maintaining high security and high compliance. And lastly, we hold ourselves to very high ethical standards. We view integrity as a very strong value. So we want to be humble and we want to be ethical. Click to the next slide. So I talked a little bit about this already. In our values, users always come first. When it comes to security, education, customer support, we also have a Saifu fund which protects users, and this user-first values are being adopted all throughout the Binance ecosystem. I have a remote clicker, so it's has a little bit of a lag on my end. Um, so what we want to do is to make crypto accessible and safe for all. And um, right now, we see regulators as taking a more active interest in this industry as it goes mainstream. Actually, this is probably one of the strongest validations that crypto industry is going mainstream. If the industry is really small, there's really not a whole lot of point for regulators to be looking at this industry. So we're now seeing a lot of participation and new involvement from regulatory agencies around the world, which really shows the adoption of crypto. And we have really we're just now beginning to step up our efforts in this area. So far, we have increased our international compliance team by 500% since last year, and we have also hired many advisors on our board. And we will continue to. We also do still plan to double our team size by end of the year, which means that we're growing our compliance team for 1,000%, maybe 10x over the last year or so. And we're really expanding our very robust compliance partnerships and framework. So we have implemented many new controls and regulatory technologies with our partners, such as CipherTrace, to instill further protection for our users. And we're fairly proud to say that we have cleared multiple external anti-money laundering AML audits, strong validation to our current AML controls and partnerships. So we have partners. We're partnered with on working groups and seminars with notable organizations such as the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, and Interpol this year. And we look forward to future collaborations. So we're committed to continue to work with regulators and policymakers to shape policies that protect users and encourage innovation and move our society forward. The next thing I want to talk about is responsible trading. So we care about users, and we want people to trade responsibly. So we educate our users through various educational efforts, as well as they have to go through quizzes to be able to access some of our products. And I'm pretty proud to say that Binance today is probably the first and only exchange that has a responsible trading program. So in fact, we actually prevent users from trading when our system detects that they're not trading responsibly, including like cooling off periods, anti-addiction notices, and just blocking them from trading when our system detects that they're not trading responsibly. So now I'm going to take a minute to talk a little bit about the new cool Binance products that's rolling out and some of the Binance ecosystem updates. So let's see. The first thing is the Binance GiftCard. So the Binance GiftCard is really just announced yesterday. It is another way for you to transfer crypto to other people or give crypto to other people. So you can make a self-made gift card. The first version of this is a peer-to-peer model, so anyone can make a gift card and you can send that to somebody else. That person does not need to have a Binance account. That person does not need to be a crypto user. So that person can be a person that's very new to crypto, and there's a way for them to use that gift card and claim the value of that. So this is something that we learned from the traditional industries. The first versions are an online virtual card, and then in the future, we will also make physical cards in the future that's issued and created by Binance. Other updates include the Binance Smart Chain. So Binance Smart Chain is one of the most used smart chains, blockchains in the ecosystem, with 700 million plus transactions, 82 million unique addresses, and 17 billion US dollars value locked. BUSD is also another very interesting achievement. The growth of DeFi and BSC has pushed BUSD towards its latest milestone, which is $10 billion market cap, and with more than 1 million holders. So each BUSD token is strictly pegged to the US dollar at a 1-to-1 ratio. the fiat asset is held 1-to-1 in a FDIC insured US bank and can be redeemed at any time. That US dollar is not used for any other investment purposes. It's not managed by hedge funds, etc. It's just sitting in the bank, fully insured. So this is very different from many of the other even regulated stable coins. Let's see. Yeah, and we're launching a new Binance incubation program right now, and the first 2 seasons. So this is season 3. The first 2 seasons has been extremely successful after 2 years. So when we look back in the first 2 seasons, we see many successful projects coming out of our incubation season 1, season 2, and we want to congratulate them. And we want to do more. Given the success of that, we want to do more. And and we have a few topics we encourage people to try, we want to see more KYC, AML compliance type of products being built in the crypto ecosystem, so that we can make the industry more compliant and more seamless with traditional regulations. And we want to see more on-chain analytic products. Again, this is a heavy requirement for compliance everywhere. So we want to see more on-chain analytics to safeguard user transactions. We also want to see more secure encrypted SMS email delivery solutions to be deployed. Right now, worldwide, we still see that these solutions lack reliability and lack scalability. So we believe many of this will help to grow both the ecosystem and also the Binance services that we can provide to our global users. So that's some of the updates I have for you today. So we'll take a few questions from the community for now.
Thank you for that, CZ. It's an amazing presentation. Thank you for that, CZ. Thank you so much for the update. We do have some questions for you, so I'm going to kick off with the first one. And the first question is, why are there 2 Binance NFT platforms?
It's pretty interesting. So in Binance, everything works in a relatively decentralized manner. It's very bottom up. We actually have multiple teams wanting to do multiple NFT platforms, and they come sometimes they come to me, ask for funding and ask for brand support, and we felt that it's better to give users the choice. One NFT platform is nft.binance.com, which is centralized, which obviously on the Binance.com domain, which is a centralized solution. We hold custody of the NFTs for users, etc. The other one is called Featured Binance, by Binance, which is a completely decentralized platform where we don't hold any of the user assets. So we felt that we should provide the options to users for them to choose from. So in Binance, we often support multiple projects in the same space, same subsector. This way, we feel that some people view it as internal competition, but we just view it as providing more choices. The industry is so new; we don't know which solution is going to work better, which one is going to be more preferred by users, and we just want to let users choose.
That makes absolute sense. The second question I have here is, how does it feel to be the head of such a vast organization?
I actually don't really view myself as a head of a vast organization. I'm just a facilitator. So I'm just helping our team to do what they do best. So Binance is very, very bottom up driven. So I don't make decisions. I don't drive projects. I still am more involved in the exchange, the centralized exchange. That's where my experience is. That's what I know best. So I'm more involved there. But even there, I'm no longer running the day-to-day operations. They actually don't want me to be involved, because if anything that I'm involved in are really slow, I get distracted all the time, many different requests. So I actually don't really do much planning. We don't really have a strategy. We don't really have a top-down strategy of what we're gonna do. So as I said before, we just give people the freedom, and people have the freedom to do what they think is best, and we just try to be supportive. So that's kind of how we operate. So I don't really view myself as the head, but many people give me the credit for everything that goes on in the Binance ecosystem. I really don't deserve it, but I view myself more as a facilitator for a very passionate, very hardworking team that's developing many products that people use.
I absolutely love that, just giving people choice, and that is something that I'm sure people will say resonate with a leader. This is a question for you, and this is a bit of a double-barreled one. So how can the crypto ecosystem progress from where we are now, and what's the most essential piece of the puzzle that hasn't yet been cracked?
So yeah, this is a tough question. So the first part, where the ecosystem is going to progress, is always really hard to predict. If you asked me like a year ago, I would not have said NFTs. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would not have said DeFi. If you asked me 4 years ago, if you asked me even at the beginning of 2017, I probably would not have said ICOs or blockchain fundraising. So it's very hard to predict the future. So I think given it's a decentralized ecosystem, anybody can do anything, and somebody will do something, and that will move the industry. And somehow I can't predict what users will want. So this is why we always encourage many different type of experiments, many different type of products to be launched, and multiple products to be launched within the same space, and we let the users choose. When something's already trending, we want to execute quickly to provide a better product in that space. So this is why we have done when ICOs were trending, we provided the exchange that provides a very large selection of coins. When the DeFi was already taking off, we were not the first DeFi guys. When the DeFi was actually before a year before DeFi was trending, there was a group of people who were working on Binance Smart Chain, and just happened that they launched a smart chain that they launched a blockchain that was extremely fast, extremely low cost, and that helped to grow the DeFi space more because Ethereum was pretty congested and saturated. So all of these things happen fairly organically. So it's very hard to predict, but we want to contribute our execution ability, and we want to leverage the community execution ability to help the industry grow. One of the most essential pieces of puzzle that have not been solved well, in my opinion, is the ease of use of wallets. So today, I believe most people have trouble holding their own wallets, their private keys, or their seed securely from themselves, or from hackers, and from themselves. If their computer breaks, if their hardware wallet gets lost, is that backup secure? Is it encrypted? Is it stored in multiple geographic locations? What happens if they pass away? They want to look at inheritance. How does that work? So I think today we don't have good, easy to use solutions that's very secure for people to hold crypto on their own. And I think this is a very important piece of the puzzle that we need to solve going forward. So I think it's very fundamental. This is also why still many users still prefer to use a centralized exchange. I myself actually really prefer the industry to move to be the fully decentralized solutions. So I think that problem still needs to be solved.
Very, very insightful there. Thank you. So the last question I have for you is, what is it like to work for Binance, and how does anyone join the team?
Well, number one, as I described before, Binance is a very bottom-driven organization. It's also very decentralized. We have teams spread all over the world, and it's very chaotic. It's very confusing when you first join Binance. Any person who joins Binance takes a while to figure out who's responsible for what products do we have, how are you organized internally. It just takes a while to figure out. So even today, when I look at something, I always ask, hey, who's working on this? I usually have to ask one or two people to find out who's really working on something. So Binance is very chaotic in that sense. Given that kind of structure, we need people who are very proactive, who are very passionate about this industry. So that's a very core value we look for. So very hardcore, very, very, very driven. So we look for people who exhibit our core values. And so how do you join? The easiest way to join is visit the Binance.com website. There's a careers page at the bottom, and that lists a full list of positions. There's like hundreds of positions that we're hiring at the moment. It may take a while to find the position that really suits you. And also within Binance, again, the advertised positions are the advertised positions. The positions are very dynamic. If you're very strong in what you do apply, and we will most likely make positions available for your skill set. So even the roles are very dynamic. So that's basically how Binance works, and we are aggressively hiring all the best talent in the world. So I do encourage to apply, and we hope to see many of you on our team.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, CZ. Very, very, very insightful as well. Thank you so much for joining us. CZ, everybody.
Thank you.